Could a new security pact change the balance of power in the Middle East? What if the US pledged to protect Saudi Arabia just like it does with Japan or South Korea? Stay tuned as we explore a potentially game-changing alliance that might reshape international relations.
Saudi Arabia's international posture remains critical as it navigates potential membership in the BRICS group alongside rumored security negotiations with the United States. These discussions, which could significantly influence geopolitics in the Middle East and beyond, could reflect US defense commitments similar to those extended to Japan and South Korea. Such an agreement emerging at a time of heightened global tensions would be critical, reflecting technological and geopolitical shifts that affect strategic alliances. The ramifications of this potential US-Saudi deal are global, encompassing military cooperation, economic tactics, and diplomatic maneuvering. This situation is further complicated by ongoing geopolitical turbulence and incidents, suggesting hybrid warfare to disrupt the BRICS-led multipolar world order. These developments underscore the growing challenges and uncertainties facing international diplomacy and strategic planning.
Understanding these dynamics is critical. The outcome of these negotiations could recalibrate the balance of power in the Middle East, affecting everything from oil markets to prospects for regional peace. This analysis is essential for anyone interested in understanding how such strategic deals shape the global landscape, influencing economic trends, military alliances, and diplomatic engagements in our rapidly evolving world. Let's start by looking at what this US-Saudi security agreement actually includes. We don't yet know what the agreement will consist of in detail, but the main pillars seem to be quite clear and don't bode well. The core of the pact involves the United States pledging to defend Saudi Arabia, similar to the commitments it has with NATO members, but with some tailored differences. This agreement will let Saudi Arabia get access to some pretty advanced weaponry and defense technologies, but it comes with a catch. In exchange for this, Saudi Arabia has to cut back on its military and economic ties with China. This includes things like arms purchases and technology investments. To put this into perspective, let's compare this agreement with those the US has with other countries like South Korea and Japan. These nations enjoy robust defense commitments from the US, which include military presence and mutual defense obligations. The Saudi agreement, while potentially not as comprehensive as a NATO agreement, signals a significant shift in how the US is engaging with key partners in strategically important regions.
Next, let's explore the regional implications of this deal. This agreement could significantly shift the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. For Saudi Arabia, this pact is not just about enhancing its military capabilities, but also about securing a powerful ally amid rising tensions with Iran and ongoing conflicts like the tensions in Yemen. This brings us how the pact affects Saudi relations within the Middle East. By aligning more closely with the US, Saudi Arabia might alter its stance towards Iran and potentially influence the dynamics with Israel, considering the ongoing discussions about a normalization of relations between Saudi Arabia and Israel. This agreement could either stabilize or further complicate the intricate web of alliances and enmities in the region, depending on how other regional players react to this newfound US-Saudi closeness. Shifting our focus to the global stage, this agreement does more than just redefine regional alliances. It also plays a significant role in the broader US-China rivalry. As the US seeks to limit Chinese influence in the Middle East, this agreement could be seen as a strategic maneuver to keep China's growing military and economic presence in check, especially in a region as vital as the Middle East, which is rich in energy resources and strategic waterways. The proposed security agreement between the United States and Saudi Arabia has a lot of implications for geopolitics that go beyond the two countries involved. This deal, which reportedly includes formal US defense guarantees for Saudi Arabia, as well as Saudi access to advanced American weaponry, could signal a realignment of the kingdom's foreign policy away from China and closer toward the US. Major powers like Russia and the European Union will be watching this agreement closely to assess how it could impact their own interests in the Middle East region. This deal could have a big impact on diplomacy and trade. It could even change the balance of power.
But there are a lot of hurdles to overcome. Back home in the US, there's a lot of opposition to the deal. This is because of Saudi Arabia's human rights record and the implications of providing the kingdom with sensitive military technologies. Congress is really worried about this. That's because Congress would have to approve certain parts of the deal. This is especially true of any parts of the deal that involve nuclear cooperation. The agreement is facing some tough questions from other countries. They're concerned that it could spark a new arms race in the Middle East, or set a bad example for other countries looking to get US military support. People are also talking about the ethical implications, with concerns about the potential for military conflicts to escalate in the region and the impact on civilian populations. Also, there are some pretty complex logistical and legal issues to navigate. The agreement has to comply with all the international laws and treaties, especially those related to arms control and nuclear non-proliferation. It'll take some careful planning and a lot of agreement to make sure the deal is effective and meets global standards.
Despite the challenges, the proposed security pact seems to fit with Saudi Arabia's broader strategic shift in the wake of recent regional conflicts, such as the Israel-Hamas war and the Red Sea crisis involving Iran and its Houthi allies. It seems like Saudi Arabia is rethinking its previous attempts to balance ties between Iran and Israel. In this vein, Saudi Arabia has stepped up the arrest of citizens for social media posts related to the Israel-Hamas war as the kingdom signals a readiness to agree to diplomatic relations with the Jewish state if it commits to Palestinian statehood. This development underscores the delicate balance Riyadh seeks to maintain as it navigates its geopolitical aspirations with its public sentiment at home.
One of the most important things about the proposed US-Saudi security agreement is how it could affect Saudi Arabia's relationship with the BRICS alliance. While this move towards the West doesn't automatically rule out Saudi Arabia's membership in BRICS, it looks like the US might make joining the formal defense partnership and nuclear energy cooperation contingent on Saudi Arabia not joining BRICS.
Such a move would be a big change for Saudi Arabia's foreign policy, as the country has been thinking about joining the BRICS alliance. If Saudi Arabia gives up on the BRICS, it will miss out on a seat at the table with the big emerging economies. It will also be harder for it to stop certain Iranian initiatives within the alliance. On top of that, there is a chance that Saudi Arabia might try to strike a deal, offering to leave BRICS in exchange for some solid US commitments, like big-time investment promises in the India-Middle East Economic Corridor. That's a key part of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's Vision 2030 economic diversification plan. Some people think that Saudi Arabia might try to get the US to agree to enrich uranium for nuclear weapons under the guise of a civilian energy partnership. It is clear that the proposed security agreement will have a big impact on Saudi Arabia's position in the global order and its tricky balancing act between Western allies and emerging powers like China and Russia within the BRICS framework. How this plays out will affect not only Saudi Arabia's foreign policy but also the broader geopolitical landscape. It could influence spheres of interest, economic cooperation, and the distribution of power on the world stage.
The decisions we make today will have a big impact on future generations. It's important to think about what we're doing and why. Are we ready for what this historic agreement will mean? What do you think the long-term effects of this agreement will be on the Middle East and beyond? Do you think this is a step towards stability, or could it lead to more tension? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below.
That's the final word on our take on the potential US-Saudi security deal. If you found this video useful, please show your appreciation by liking and sharing it. Don't miss our future videos. Subscribe now. Also, be sure to follow ThinkBRICS on social media for more great content. You will find all the links in the description below. Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching.